Ayan, so good evening, good afternoon. So for today's session, yung topic natin is about, sa chapter 8 na tayo. So i-advance namin kayo. Ayan, advance, tutorial for completing the cycle for a merchandising business. So yung i-discuss lang today is itong adjusting entry, closing entries, and then yung two types ng method ng pag-present ng expense sa income statement. So baka may background na kayo, ganun, napag-aralan niyo na dati. So di-discuss ulit namin sa inyo. Ayan, so start na ba? Ayan, start na tayo. So 'di ba sa merchandising at the end of the period ay meron tayong 'di ba dalawang inventory system, yung periodic inventory at saka yung perpetual. Kapag sa periodic, 'di ba doon tayo nagre-record yung mga purchases account, ganun, mga purchase discount, ganun, purchase returns and allowances, ganun. Kaya kapag magko-compute tayo ng cost of goods sold, kailangan natin 'yon, 'di ba? And kapag naman sa perpetual inventory system, wala yung mga account na yun, yung mga purchases, ganun. Kaya at the end of the period, yung cost of goods sold, ma-determine na natin kapag nagkaroon tayo ng sale. Ayan. Tapos, kapag, kapag perpetual, di ba, yung inventory account mo, na-update siya tuwing magkakaroon ka ng purchase transaction or yung mga purchase transactions na-update agad. Kaya, malalaman mo lang yung ending inventory mo kapag perpetual, kapag nagkaroon ka na ng physical count. Diba? Nag-physical count para malaman kung tama ba yung yung ending inventory mo dun sa naka-record. Nagkakaroon ng physical count at the end of the period. Tapos yun yung i-report natin dun sa ating income statement tsaka sa balance sheet. Ayun. Kaya at the end of the period, nagkakaroon tayo ng mga adjusting transactions. Kaya sabi niya, at the end of the period, entries are made to reflect in the inventory account the ending balance. The objectives of these entries are as follows. Yung A, i-remove natin yung beginning balance from the merchandise inventory account and to transfer it to income summary. And then yung pangalawa naman, to enter the ending balance in the merchandise inventory account and to establish it in the income summary. So yung magiging entry mo dyan or yung journal entry or adjusting entry is at the end of the period, di ba, mostly December 31 yun, magde-debit ka ng income summary account and then mag-credit ka ng merchandise inventory beginning para ma-offset mo yung yung beginning balance ni inventory. And then, kailangan mo rin mag-debit ng merchandise inventory and then credit ka ng income summary para mag-reflect na lang sa account mo or dun sa books ng company is yung ending inventory na lang. Kasi diba yung, yung normal balance ng inventory is, is debit, diba? Kasi isa siyang asset. So, kapag credit mo si asset, ma-offset siya, mawawala na siya sa books, mababawasan siya. So kapag credit mo yung full amount ni beginning inventory, mawawala na siya sa books. At matitira na lang yung ending balance mo. So para mag-gets nyo, may problem tayo dito, yung problem 1 sa book. So, pwede pong palipat sa Google Sheets. Para mas mag-gets. Yan, loading. Kaya ba today? Kaya ba today? Pahirapan ng ngayon na yung connection. Kanina pa yan. Ayan, so napabasa naman na niyo siguro yan. Ito yung problem 1 sa book. So, pwedeng tayong magsagot ng sabay kung hindi nyo pa nasasagutan. Ayan. Sabi niya, the beginning and ending merchandise inventories for Maria Villan Store for the year ended December 31, 2020 are as follows. So meron kang beginning inventory na 300,000 tsaka ending inventory na 230,000. So ang required, prepare the adjusting entries to update the merchandise inventory amount as at December 31, 2020. So kailangan mo daw magkaroon ng adjusting entries. So ang entry dyan, so date muna, December 31, 2020. So magde-debit ka ng yung kanina, debit ka ng income summary, and then credit ka ng merchandise inventory beginning para ma-offset si beginning inventory ng 300,000. Yan, kaya mo yan iko. Kulang ang zero yung sa sa beginning inventory. Ayan. Tapos naman para ma-reflect yung balance ni yung date yung ilalagay. Ano yung date? Ano okay lang po ba kung yung date yung ilalagay?
Yung 1/20/20 ganun po. Sa kunwari
Oo, pwede. Pero gasan nila yun. Pero pwede rin namang merchandise inventory beginning or merchandise inventory, 1/1/2020. Depends sa inyo. Pero sanay lang na beginning tas ending na yung ginagamit. Ayan. Tapos para ma-reflect yung ending balance ni ending inventory sa ating balance sheet. Yan. Mag-debit ka ng merchandise inventory ending and then mag-credit ka naman sa income summary. Same date yan kasi at the end of the period ka diba nag-adjust ng accounts. Nabigay na rin namin to actually dun sa handout sa last, yung sa ito yung sa may transaction line, to record the ending inventory balance, part of the closing entries under the periodic inventory system. Ayan. Kapag periodic, yun yung ginagawa. Pero kapag perpetual, no entries yung mga yan. Kapag periodic lang siya nangyayari. Ayun. So, ayun lang for merchandise inventory na adjusting. Meron pa tayong problem, yung problem 2. Ayan, so marami na, di ba? Sabi sa problem, ang required, prepare the adjusting entry needed for merchandise inventory, and yung second, prepare the partial income statement. So, listed below is the partial trial balance of Charito Guillermo Retailers at December 31, 2020. So, yan yung mga accounts, tsaka yung mga amounts nila. So, sabi dyan, meron tayong beginning na merchandise inventory of 80,000, meron kang sales na 190,000, sales returns allowances of 20,000, purchases na 60, purchase discount na 3,000, and meron kang transportation in or freight in na 1,000, and then yung ending inventory mo daw as of December 31 is 74. So yung magiging adjusting entry mo dyan, ganun din, eliminate natin si beginning inventory, beginning balance ni inventory na 80,000. So mag-entry ka ng debit to income summary and credit to merchandise inventory beginning of 80. And then para ma-reflect naman yung ending balance ni inventory sa ating balance sheet, mag-debit ka ng merchandise inventory ending and then credit ka ng income summary. Ayan. So for the partial income statement, andyan na-provide na rin namin. Yan, meron kang sales, less mo yung sales returns and allowances, tapos magkakaroon ka ng net sales na 170,000, and then to compute for the cost of goods sold or cost of sales, meron ka dyan beginning inventory of 80 plus purchases less purchase discounts. And then, add mo si transportation in, makuha ka ng net cost of purchase na 58. And then, i-add mo si beginning inventory, makakakuha ka ng 138,000 na cost of goods available for sale. And then, less mo si ending inventory to get the cost of goods sold of 64. And then, i-less mo siya sa net sales, magkakaroon ka ng gross profit na 106,000. Ayun, yung kanyang partial income statement. So, gets ba yung sa adjusting entry? Thank you for the reactions. So, may magdi-discuss po ba sa closing entry? Ayan.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. So here is the closing entry method. A closing entry is a journal entry made at the end of accounting period. I-close lahat ng temporary account. Ano nga ba yung mga temporary account na to? Ito ay ang revenue, expenses, and dividends. Temporary accounts are used to record accounting activity during a specific period. All income statement balances are transferred to retained earnings. Ang purpose ng closing entry is para i-reset ang temporary account balances to zero on the general ledger. All revenues and expense account must end with zero balance kasi they are reported in defined periods and are not carried over into the future. For example, yung 20,000 revenue this year is hindi fixed na 20,000 ulit ang revenue mo next year. The net income is moved into retained earnings on the balance sheet. Let's proceed to recording a closing entry. First, all revenue accounts are transferred to income summary. This is done through a journal entry by debiting all revenue accounts and crediting income summary. Next, the same process is performed for expenses. All expenses are closed out by crediting the expense account and debiting income summary. Third, the income summary account is closed and credited to retained earnings. Last is, if a dividend was paid out, the balance is transferred from the dividend account to retained earnings. An entry to close temporary accounts with debit balance and to remove beginning inventory. Debit to income summary, credit to beginning merchandise inventory, and credit to temporary account with debit balances. The entry to close temporary account with credit balance and establish ending inventory is debit to ending merchandise inventory, debit to temporary accounts with credit balances, and credit to income summary. Income summary is a holding account used to aggregate all income accounts except for dividend expenses. Hindi reported to financial statement ang income summary. Ginagamit lang ito during closing process. Mayroon ding special consideration. Kapag mas mataas revenue ni company kaysa sa expenses, ang closing entry is debit income summary and credit to retained earnings. Pag loss for the period naman, the income summary account needs to be credited and retained earnings reduced through a debit. Dividends are closed directly to retained earnings. The retained earning account is reduced by the amount paid out in dividends through a debit and credit to dividend expense.
Ayun, so gets nyo ba yung sa closing entries or masyadong mabilis yung pag-discuss ni Ate Jamie or Ate Jam? Ito ba mabilis? Diba yung mga temporary accounts at the end of the period, kino-close natin sila. Kasi hindi naman na sila parang maki-carry over sa next period. Only yung mga real accounts lang yung, or mga balance sheet accounts lang yung mariretain yung mga balances. So, pag close natin sila, magde-debit ka ng income summary and then credit ng merchandise inventory beginning plus yung mga temporary accounts with debit balances. Ano yung mga yun? Yung mga sales returns allowances, mga sales discounts, purchases, mga transportation in, and then yung mga expenses mo, i-credit mo lahat yan. And then, sa isa naman na entry, yung debit ka ng merchandise inventory ending, and then debit ka rin yung mga may temporary accounts with credit balances, yung mga sales, yung mga purchase returns and allowances, mga purchase discounts, ganun, yun yung mga credit balances. And papagbanggain mo yan ngayon, yung income summary account mo, yung credit sa yung debit sa una, tas yung credit sa pangalawa. And then kung anong mas malaki doon, ayan, i-close mo siya sa capital mo, di ba? Then, kapag debit, mas mataas yung debit, sa credit, meron kang profit. Pero kapag mas mataas yung credit, sa debit, meron kang loss. So kapag may profit ka, madadagdagan si capital, and then kapag loss ka naman, syempre, babawasan mo si capital. Ayun, so yun lang yung essence ni closing entries. Ayan, so let's go for the next topic, yung last topic na to for tonight.
Okay. Okay, so last topic na tayo. Gising-gising. Last na to. Ayan. So, pupunta na tayo sa preparation ng income statement. Ayan. So, sa preparation ng income statement, meron dalawang method nga na nabanggit kanina si Ate Mabeth na kung paano mag-prepare ng expenses. Yun yung nature of expense method, tapos function of expense method. So, isa-isahin natin ngayon. So, nature of expense method, babasahin ko muna. Under this method, expenses are aggregated according to their nature. Example, mamaya. Ayan, so under this method daw, yung expenses na ilalagay mo dun sa income statement, nakagroup sila based sa nature nila or sa source nung expense. All similar sources are grouped together. Kumbaga, for example, sa depreciation, ayan, meron tayong tatlong departments. Imagine niyo, meron tayong tatlong departments. Ano yung tatlong departments na yun? Doon si sales, si production, si admin. Yun yung tatlong department. Ngayon, yung tatlong departments na yun, naka-incur sila ng depreciation expense. Nagigets ba? Now, under the nature of expense method, hindi mo sila i-allocate according sa function nila sa entity. Hindi mo i-classify na, itong depreciation expense na to, kay sales department to. Itong depreciation expense na to, kay admin to. Hindi ganon. Bale, ang gagawin mo, as one lang si depreciation expense. Yung lahat ng na-incur na depreciation expense ni na sales department, ng tatlong department na yon, ilalagay mo dito sa under the nature of expense method, ilalagay mo siya as one line, lahat ng depreciation. Ganun lang. Iisa lang yung source ng expense, which is yung depreciation. Nagigets ba? Ayan. Kung hindi niya nagigets, magsabi lang kayo. Handa akong ulitin yan. Ayan. So ito yung mga iba pang example ng ng mga expenses na ina-aggregate according to their nature. Si depreciation nga, nabanggit ko kanina, si purchases of materials, transport cost, employee benefits and advertising cost. Ayan. So hindi nga sila i-allocate according to their functions sa entity. And itong nandito, ayan, 7 minutes left na lang. So, na lang, balik na lang tayo mamaya pag naputol ito. Itong na to, format na to, ito yung format kung paano i-prepare yung nature of yung income statement gamit yung nature of expense method. Nandiyan si revenue, si other income, tapos ililes mo na yung mga expenses ngayon. Hindi mo na sila ika-categorize. Wala kang nakikita diyang naka-categorize sa selling department, ganon, administrative, di ba wala? Kasi hindi dito yun. Ayan. Tapos i-add mo na silang lahat, yung mga expenses. Then, ililes mo na ito, pagbabanggain mo na sila ng expenses para makuha mo si profit before tax. Tapos, makikita mo kung meron sa problem na income tax expense, iles mo siya sa profit before tax para makuha mo yung profit after tax. Ngayon, hindi ko masyadong i-elaborate itong nature of expense method. Parang binigyan ko lang kayo ng background, ganyan. Kasi mag-focus tayo sa function of expense method. Kasi although madaling gawin, madaling i-prepare itong nature of expense method kaysa dun sa function of expense, depende pa rin yan sa entity kung anong method yung gagamitin nila kasi hindi dapat sila mag-base sa kung ano yung madaling i-prepare. Dapat mag-base sila sa kung anong method yung makakapag-provide ng more reliable and more relevant information sa entity. Ganon. Eh ngayon, most of the time, yung function of expense method yon. Kaya sa function of expense method tayo magfo-focus. Okay, so itong function of expense method, tinatawag din siyang cost of sales method. Now, under this method, an entity classifies expenses according to their function. For example, si cost of sales, si distribution or selling expenses, administrative, and other operating expenses. So, dito, kung napapansin niyo, mas na-dissect yung mga expenses. Kina-classify kasi sila according to their function. Ayan. So, ito yung format ng isang function of expense method. Ayan. So, ano ba yung mga major categories ng mga expenses under function of expense method? Nandyan si cost of sales, si distribution costs, si administrative expenses, ito pa, si other operating expenses. For example, yung mga losses, ganyan. And then si finance cost or yung interest expense. Itong investment revenues and profit from continuing operations and discontinued operations, hindi na namin yan masyadong i-discuss sa inyo kasi basic muna tayo. Hindi nyo pa yan madadaanan masyado ngayon. Sa higher year pa yan. And ngayon, meron tayong prepare na problem para merong prepare yung book ninyo na problem para mas maintindihan ninyo. Hindi pala kami nag-prepare. Yung book pala. Sorry, Sir Valera. Ayan. So, andito si ate nyo, Karin. Natawa ko sa sarili ko. Ay, okay ka nga. Dito si ate nyo, Karin, para i-discuss yung problem 3 na nasa book ninyo din. Ayan. So, ang method na ginamit dito is yung function of expense method. Ate Karin, you may now take the virtual floor.
So, good evening po. Yan, so problem 3, to test your knowledge of the relationship of these items, insert the missing figures in the following income statement. Note that gross profit is 40% of net sales and profit is 10% of net sales. So since wala silang binigay na net sales, kukunin muna natin yung net sales. Para makuha natin yung 100% na net sales, i-divide natin yung gross margin or gross profit na 620,000 sa 620,000 sa 40%. So 620,000 divided by 40% is equals to 1,550,000. So yun yung yun yung net sales natin. So next naman natin is kukunin natin yung gross sales. Ang kailangan natin gawin dito is mag-work back. Yung 1,550,000 i-add natin sa 60,000 which is the sales return and allowances 45,000 and sales discount 15,000 to get the 1,610,000 na gross sales. So next is cost of goods sold. purchases 985,000 less purchase return allowances 31,000 and purchase discount 20,000 is equals to net purchases 934,000. Then add natin yung transportation in 36,000 to get the net cost of purchases 970,000. Then i-add natin yung inventory beginning na 220,000 is equals to cost of goods sold available for sale 1,190,000. Then ileless natin yung inventory end 260,000 is equals to cost of goods sold 930,000, which is the 60% of net sales. Then next is kunin natin yung 10% profit. So para makuha natin yung profit na 10%, imumultiply natin yung net sales 1 million